Let's show you the real reason why the government is shut down. It ain't got nothing to do with the orange dude. I don't vote for either party, but I don't know where y'all getting this from, but the blue people who y'all vote for, who y'all been conned into voting for all your life, these are the folks who are holding up the government because they want more money for illegals than they do their own citizens. So check some of this out.
So we've been working really hard to get the House back to the regular appropriations order, and we've achieved that. In the House, in a bipartisan fashion, they passed all 12 appropriations bills through the committee, 3 of them off the floor. The Senate passed 3 bills. Remember the old videos on Saturday mornings about how a bill becomes a law? If the House and the Senate disagree on an appropriation spending bill, they go to a conference committee to work it out. We voted to do that. All this is working well, but we're coming up on the end of the fiscal year, September 30th. So we need a few more weeks to finish this good work. So what we did in a responsible manner as Republicans in charge is we offered a totally clean short-term CR to get that job done. Chuck Schumer saw that. He returned a counteroffer that is filled with partisan wish lists and poison pills and demands. It includes, for example, Brett, what Chuck Schumer is arguing for. He wants to reinstate free health care for illegal aliens. He wants to add 5...
Hold up, pause. This is the reason why I got a problem with politics. The reason why I don't like getting involved. This is bad. They want more money for illegal folk who come over here illegally. Only in this country does it happen. In no other country does this happen. You can't go to Russia. You can't go to China. You can't go nowhere else in the world and have this happen. They want more money for folks who wasn't born here, who came here, air quotes, illegally, versus the people that already live here. So before you say it was Trump, again, I'm not siding. I'm just saying, hey, look down the middle instead of one side. Look at it for real. That means they care less about the people who are currently getting benefits and health and Section 8 and all that, which is diabolical. So all they got to do is say, okay, we're not going to give money to the illegals. We care more about our American citizens first. They're not saying that. So if the Republican side say, hey, we'll open it back up if you cut off funding for these people who are illegally over here. But they don't want to do that. So they are holding, look at the real party, folks. They are holding your stamps and your Section 8 hostage because they want a wham-a-lamps party for their illegal. And you know why they want that? Because they'll use those illegals as voting power. Because when they were coming over here illegally, the first thing that they were receiving, which was coming out on video, were ballots and things saying in their language, remember who brought you over here was the Democrat Party. Vote for us when it come time for election. This is all facts. But if you guys don't know, if you don't know what's going on, you will be prone to believe the garbage. Let's keep going.
$100 million to prop up liberal media outlets. And he wants to add a massive $1.4 trillion spending hike to what should be a simple 7-week stopgap funding measure. We can't do that. We're not going to do it.
Yeah. Now let's take a look at another video.
And here's why it's not. This is a Democrat talking point. They say we're not actually trying to give health care benefits to illegal aliens, and here's why it's not true. There are 2 Biden-era programs that explicitly gave the taxpayer health care money to illegal aliens that we turned off when President Trump took over in January. Program number 1 is there's a lot of emergency health care at hospitals that are provided to illegal aliens. That was funded by the federal government. We turned off that funding because, of course, we want American citizens to benefit from those hospital services, not to be taxed and then to have those hospital services go to illegal aliens. The second of which is the Biden administration gave mass parole to millions upon millions of illegal aliens, and then they simultaneously made those parolees eligible for health care benefits funded by taxpayers.
All right, hold up. Y'all don't remember this? When these jokers was coming across the border and they was getting thousands of dollars on these debit cards, and they could barely speak a word of English. Y'all remember that? And some of them in these sanctuary states in the blue state, California, Illinois, and New York. This is all facts. They were leaving their receipts behind. People was reporting on it. They was getting more benefits than the people who was on EBT. Free housing, just like y'all EBT folk. But they was getting more than y'all that was born here. They were giving more to them. And now, since they turned that faucet off, oh, well, we're just going to shut down. We're just going to stall out everything. How is that? How you putting these people? That'll be like bringing people in your own house, and you give them more food, more water, more clothes than the people that live in your house. So you know your house is about to be divided, just like this country.
The one big beautiful bill, President Trump and congressional Republicans turned off that money to healthcare funding for illegal aliens. The Democrats want to turn it back on. And in their initial proposal, the first thing that they put out to reopen the government, they actually turned that money for healthcare benefits for illegal aliens back on. So it's not something that we made up. It's not a talking point. It is in the text of the bill that they initially gave to us to reopen the government. It's preposterous for them to run away from it now. But look, let's set that all to the side. Let's open up the government. Let's negotiate on all of these healthcare policy issues. Obviously, we're not going to support healthcare benefits for illegal aliens, but we will work with them to lower healthcare costs for American citizens if they're willing to do so. This is a Democrat.
But they're not willing to do so. So in other words, until they get their spoiled brat way, a lot of folks who really need it should have it. But then we do have a lot of people on it that don't need it. And they've been out here hollering about they've been living rent-free for 3-4 years, and they're getting $10,000-$15,000 for their 6-7 kids. It does need to be reformed because a lot of folks getting over versus folks who really need it. The whole system is crashed out, period. And it's Judgment Day. That's all I got to say. But be careful about who you think is the cause, because the people who y'all been brainwashing to go vote for all your life, those are the folks who are responsible for you not having your stamps in Section 8. That's it. Plain and simple. Just do your research. Stop going with the narrative. Find out the facts. The other side is saying, come on to the table. We're not doing that for illegal folks when you got people that's born here. Matter of fact, ain't nobody talking about the veterans, right? They go over and fought for this country. Half amputees, but they don't hardly get any benefit. But yet you got well able-bodied folks popping baby after baby out who getting thousands. If you think about, I seen a chick on TikTok said she was getting $10,000 a month for 7 kids and $5,000 in cash benefits. Okay, so that's 15 grand a month that this person is getting, and there's many people. So 15 grand times 12 months. Okay. This person is getting almost $175,000 a year in benefits versus us people that work. Add that up, folks. Add that up. If a person can brag and say they getting 10 grand a month, let's just say they getting 5,000 in cash benefit because they out there telling on themselves and they get 5,000 in stamps every month. And they don't have to, well, I don't want to have to do the 20 hours to work. I just want my stuff for free. And they out here bragging about they've been on rent-free. They've been living rent-free for years. Plus, you getting 10 grand in benefits a month. That's $120,000 a year for you not to work and you getting free rent. It's something wrong with that picture. It's something wrong with that picture. So yeah, again, the whole system is bad. It needs to be rebooted, and they need to figure out a way to get these scammers off of it and give it to people who really need it. Who really need it, folks. This whole system is washed, and it needs a restart for real.